Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX. I'm Rishabh Gulati. In October of 1937, Edward, Duke of Windsor, the recently abdicated Edward VIII of England, decided to visit Nazi Germany. He went to Berlin with his wife, Wallis Simpson, and met with Adolf Hitler. There was shock and outrage in the United Kingdom. Exactly a year later, Hitler invaded Czechoslovakia. We all know how history panned out. Now, Edward, Duke of Windsor, could have been called a naive fool, or he could have been called a brave diplomat representing his people hoping for peace. History judged him to be a naive fool. At a time like this, when in 2018, Erdogan, as leader of Turkey, did a constitutional amendment declaring modern-day Turkey a republic as a continuation of the Ottoman Empire. The man who's given himself dictatorial powers, whose son Bilal runs various leagues which are in cahoots with individuals infamous for their radical preaching, such as Zakir Naik. When people like Mirwais Umar Farooq, separatists in India, organize celebrations over the victories of Erdogan, a man who has a declared intent of re-establishing an Islamic caliphate, a person who is trying to rally a radical cause here in India, who is persecuting the Kurds, who is persecuting the Armenians, who is claiming large parts of Iraq as part of the old Ottoman Empire, who has put Europe to the brink of war, where Greece is on red alert, who has just converted the Museum of Hagia Sophia into a mosque, who is seeking and receiving military and financial assistance from China. This individual is also fighting a proxy war in Libya, where he's deployed more than 4,000 fighters, who is claiming large parts of the Mediterranean. This individual has just been given the biggest PR opportunity in India that could have been offered. Aamir Khan, shooting a film in Istanbul, has decided to go on a photo op and have a tete-a-tete with his wife, who has come out and said that they had a great conversation on shared history and culture. So either Aamir Khan is a naive fool, completely unaware of what's happening in the world, or he's trying to be a brave diplomat of Indian culture. Unfortunately, very real-time history will have to judge him. Turkey is currently pushing the world onto the brink of war. It is as serious as it gets. There is no subtlety in India's response to Turkey, both officially and unofficially. Then, to play cultural mascot, Aamir Khan has potentially done a great disservice to the cause, either through naivety and lack of knowledge, or through maleficence and motivation. We'll let you be the judge of it. Let me open up this conversation. Joining us on the broadcast, Dr. Wail Awad, Sumit Peer, Major General Dhruv Katoch, Ambassador Ashok Shajanar is also joining us, and Murtaza Ali joining us in just a bit. General Dhruv Katoch, the Turks are going to make a great attempt now to say that, look, the people of India, the Muslims of India, the icons of India are so friendly towards us. It's the rest of you guys, you military strategists, you government, you BJP, that have a problem. We are such a good country. We're doing such great service to the world. We are great friends of India. When in the Turkish parliament we take up the cause of Kashmir, only 3 countries took up at the UNSC Kashmir after August 5th last year: Pakistan, Turkey and Malaysia. So is Imran Khan a brave diplomat or a naive fool?
I think you are referring to Aamir Khan, I believe.
Yes.
Yes. You see, I think today is, as I have been maintaining for a very long time, this is the information age. And a photograph or a tweet or a Facebook post, it gets viral in seconds and it reaches out to millions of people. Now, this photo shoot, which Aamir Khan has taken with Emin Erdogan, the First Lady of Turkey, I think it has sent out a message that of a very close relationship and a rapport between the two countries, which on ground does not exist. And I think the First Lady of Turkey has very cleverly exploited this opportunity to send across her message. Now, even if he was only going for a film shoot, the question was, why does he have to meet at the political level? Because anything which a person does who has got star status within India will have national and international ramifications. You will remember that when one of the Khans, I think he went to the United States and he was searched, what big news it came out as far as the Indian media is concerned. So obviously, the very fact that Aamir Khan has gone and met Emin Erdogan, it is going to be big news. I don't think he has been naive. I think Khan knows exactly what he is doing. I think the larger danger is that he represents a lobby within India, which is the left lobby. It is the so-called secular lobby and the so-called liberal lobby. And unfortunately, all these grand words which they give to themselves, they don't live up to. They are the most illiberal, they are the most fascist, and their ideological content is extremely far left. So to that extent, I think he, as far as Aamir Khan is concerned, he has simply supported this group, which he has been supporting for a very long time. I think the rest of the country needs to be careful, and people like this chap, they need to be shunned by society.
Okay.
Dr. Wahil Awad, can you give for the people watching this broadcast in India and across the world a better understanding of what Erdogan actually represents?
Well, I think we have spoken enough, Rishabh, on this. Erdogan is a very well-known figure in the world, what he is doing across the Mediterranean, fishing in the turbulent waters, provoking the neighbors, expanding up to China, thinking that this is his empire. So he's thinking in terms of the new sultan of Turkey, who is going to bring back the glory of the Islamic world. And all of us know in the Arab world, and I'm from a country where his previous governments and all his Sultan dynasty have put most of our intellectual and academicians on the suicide and homicide and killing them, shooting them. All these things happen, and we know. So therefore, I don't see it is a good gesture to meet. But having said that, I don't want also to put the whole blame on Aamir Khan, because sometimes when a public figure they're supposed to be more responsible, especially at a time of sentiment is anti certain countries, because politicians are different every time, but sometimes they sit down across the table. But once you know you are a public figure, you need to be a little more concerned and little more cautious in dealing. Like we have done with the Chinese, you have blocked all the social networking, but it is on the social media where you have to put your views, where people are working.
I'm just showing on our screens, Dr. Wahil Awad, a speech that was given by Zakir Naik at something called the TUGWA, which is a forum that is run by the son of Erdogan. His name is Bilal Erdogan. Zakir Naik represents, in your view, sir, what kind of a brand?
Well, see, Zakir Naik or Bilal himself, he was gaining $10 million a month from the Syrian oil during the 10 years of the crisis, where he was siphoning the oil from the Kurdish dominant area and the American, and then he used to siphon it and sell it the Syrian oil. So he's been making billions of dollars from the stealing oil of Iraq and Syria. So any money goes funding to Zakir Naik, to any other figure, should not be taken in light vein.
Okay, just stay with me. Ambassador Ashok Sajanar, Turkey is about to push Europe to the brink of war. We've been discussing this repeatedly for the past several days and weeks. They've converted Hagia Sophia into a mosque, massive outrage in Europe because of it. They have a proxy army fighting within Syria, within Libya, claiming large parts of the Aegean, the Mediterranean, getting and seeking financial assistance from China, which is coming its way, challenging the Saudis for domination over the OIC, working closely with Imran Khan, taking up the issue of Kashmir at the UNSC. Now, is Imran Khan aware, not Aamir Khan not aware of any of these things? Maybe perhaps doesn't read, read the news. Could be.
No, I would not agree with you. I think he is very well aware. He is a very well-informed person. He's a person of the times. It's the information age and all the information becomes very readily available. So I'm sure he's not unaware. After all, he did speak, when was it? I think about 5 years ago or so, when he said that, his wife is afraid of the intolerance levels in the country, and we are thinking whether we should stay in the country or our children should go out or something. So I think he is very well aware. He's aware that next to Pakistan, as far as the issue of Kashmir is concerned, even as far as our own domestic issues are concerned, whether it is 370, whether it is CAA, if there is any other country which has spoken out so very strongly, it is Turkey. It is, you did mention that there were 3 countries which spoke against it. As far as Malaysia is concerned, Malaysia has not said anything on the first anniversary of Article 370.
Yeah, because Mahathir Mohamad is gone, right?
Yes, Mahathir Mohamad is gone, so there is another Prime Minister. So maybe it was the personal position of Mahathir Mohamad, and as you said, if Turkey, Erdogan has delusions of becoming the leader of the Muslim Ummah, maybe, Mahathir Mohamad also
Ambassador
has
Sajanar, in
potential to that
2018,
role.
he's declared the Republic of Turkey a continuation of the Ottoman Empire. He's eyeing a
Yes.
caliphate. We know he's eyeing it. He has agents operating through his sons. His son, Bilal, is operating them here in India doing recruitment. He is getting support from an individual called Sardar Demirel, who's a Turkish scholar who often comes to India and holds rally in support of Turkey. People like Mirwais Umar Farooq were calling for Indian Muslims to support Erdogan in 2018. There were celebrations that were organized here in India by the likes of these individuals. They host Zakir Naik. I mean, at a certain point of time, either you are completely unaware of what this individual represents, or you are unaware of what meeting the family of this individual would signify to people in India. Ambassador.
No, absolutely. Are you asking me or
Yes,
you?
Ambassador, for you.
Okay, yeah. No, absolutely. So that's exactly what I was saying, Rishabh, that I do not buy that narrative that he is unaware. He's a very well informed, I've had the opportunity of meeting him, of being with him a few years ago. He is a very vibrant individual. I'm sure he knows everything that is happening around. I think the best the defense for him could be that he was manipulated in some way, although I
What
would
is the
not think it
manipulation?
would
The
be
manipulation,
that
I can only think of one, is that we'll give you some discounts to come and shoot here, some subsidy, so that you can, you can make your film cheaper, and in return you please come and hold this meeting. But the story we are being told is the opposite, that his team was the one who was seeking the meeting. I don't know which version is true because they haven't come out and spoken. They are more than happy to get the cheap publicity out of this. The damage they're doing, they don't understand. There's something broken here in the system. Sumit Peer. Sheikh Nadwi's son Yunus, who has been studying in Turkey, regularly attends conferences organized by Erdogan's son. I've already mentioned Sardar Demirel, who was educated in Pakistan, is a Turkish by birth, who's been traveling to India since 2016, trying to run up support for Erdogan in this country. Zakir Naik, we are showing on our screens, also hosted by the same individual. The same individual has links with Mirwais Umar Farooq, a separatist. We know that they've been running NGOs here in this country. We know that TRT World, which is the state mouthpiece of Turkey, and what it reports on India, what it reports on what's happening here. They have a plan to restore the caliphate. They are in alliance with Pakistan, in alliance with China, say nothing on the Uyghur Muslims, and this is what Erdogan represents. And within the next few months, it is going to be Erdogan who splits NATO and probably takes Europe to war. And in that context, how will these kind of meetings be perceived?
I think, Rishabh, first of all, thank you very much for having me on your show. Rishabh, what has happened is unfortunate And sir, by no flicker of imagination, not even in the dreams, this is an accident or this just happened. Look at the sequence of things, Rishabh. These people like Aamir Khan have big PR teams, they have big media managers. This meeting was requested by their side to discuss some water foundation. And incidentally, the first lady of that country gives you a one-to-one meeting in her Hoover mansion. It is a mansion where the meeting happened, a one-to-one meeting. And then she goes onto the Twitter and tweets, we discuss history, culture, roots, and commonalities. And this, if you think is an accident, or if somebody wants to believe is an accident, is not an accident. This is very well perceived, done, and done with, precision. If you and me ask for a meeting, will we get a one-to-one meeting with Erdogan's wife? It doesn't happen like
but
that.
we don't want one.
So Mr. Aamir Khan knows what he's exactly
doing. No, we don't want one.
And
I'm
what he does is
smarter.
very bad.
I'm smarter than that. I don't want to be supporting a country that is going to bring the world to war. This is no different from going to meet Kim Jong-un. This is no different from 70, 80 years seeking a meeting with Benito Mussolini or Adolf Hitler. There is no difference. I began with the quotation of Edward, Duke of Windsor, for this reason. He did the same thing in 1937 and just showed up. He didn't hold an official position. He could have said, I just went there to have a cup of tea with Hitler. What happened subsequently was that became a PR campaign for the Nazis. Now, either we are dumb, naive, don't understand, illiterate, don't watch the news, or we know exactly what we are doing, Sumit Peer, and are doing it deliberately.
Rishabh, it's not a question of not knowing or not watching the news. They are media managers, they are PR managers. There are full-fledged teams which work from that. There are teams who must have organized this meeting. And incidentally, it's like if somebody walks tomorrow and says, I met Imran Khan's wife just to discuss cookery classes or to discuss how a biryani is made. Well, nobody is going to buy this argument. Don't insult the intellect of 1.3 billion Indian people, because, Rishabh, there is one more underlying factor here. Why did he choose Turkey? Secondly, is it that under the influence of China, Turkey is trying to rope in powerful and influential Muslim icons to build
The answer is yes. I've given you the example of the people who are operating in India, being sent and under the tutelage of Erdogan's son, who have been given the task of establishing friends for Turkey within India. I've told you the names of the people doing it. I've shown you on the screens the conferences they're organizing, including the one with Zakir Naik. This is known information. Murtaza Ali Khan, what was this? Was he trying to thank them for giving them a subsidy for organizing the movie? Does he not know what's happening with Turkey? Murtaza, we can't hear you, buddy. I'm not getting your audio. Maybe you want to take your EP off. Yeah, so we can't hear you. So maybe you want to take the EP off so that we can hear you. We can't hear you at all. Let me put the same question to then General Dhruv Katoch. General Dhruv Katoch, we know that these people are actively trying to recruit for the version of a new caliphate that an Erdogan seeks to represent. They are doing this active recruitment here, now, as we speak. We know the people who are organizing it. We know his son Bilal is in charge of it. And when you represent, for many people who Aamir Khan represents as a folk hero, they'll say, okay, if this guy is given a thumbs up to this family, then obviously all the things that we're told about Erdogan are lies.
I think this takes us back to the Khilafat movement, to which at that point of time Mahatma Gandhi gave support. And Turkey was looking for a support of that nature. Now there is no Mahatma Gandhi today here to give them that kind of support. And he is looking now to exploit some sentiment within the country. I beg your pardon, back again. Indian Muslim does not behave that way. There may be a very small segment of the community, a very, very small and minuscule, which may have been radicalized. But when you are looking at the bulk of India's Muslims, they don't have that line of thinking anymore. It is a very secular polity which we have got today in the country. Having said that, I think what you very rightly brought out, and I think I like that line. We intend to star power. This is a very important facet because film stars today within India, they've got a huge fan following, both within India and across the world. And even if, when you look at the Khans from Bollywood,
No, I think I don't know why we are treading on this like eggshells. This is what it is. You've sat down in Istanbul and said, okay, we need mascots for our push in India. No, I don't know why we should tread on eggshells on this. You need mascots. They've decided it. They've targeted Aamir Khan. It's not the first time. He met with Erdogan in 2017. Was there. He's there again right now in much changed circumstances.
I just want to give one more point. It's that this Khan does not know what is happening. He is totally aware of what is happening. And I think he is part.
So he decided, right? He's decided that I am the face of Erdogan and I represent him in Turkey. It's a happy decision. Murtaza Ali Khan, what is Imran Khan? Is he not? I don't know why, Murtaza, your audio is not working. We still can't hear you. So maybe we should get back to you once your audio line is figured out. We need to figure out Murtaza's audio line. We can't hear him at all. Let me put the same question back to Dr. Vailabad. Dr. Vailabad, in this naivety, this is the spin which certain regimes are very good at. Because the premise of their argument is, look, we need a popular person who can be who can don our PR publications. We have the Zakir Naiks of the world, but we need the Aamir Khans of the world because they occupy a different mind space in India's culture. And the next time when you and I or others say, no, Turkey is doing evil things, or Erdogan is at least doing evil things, they will point and say, look, these guys are with us, so you guys are barking up the wrong tree.
Well, I think, Rishabh, there is a very important point here. Nowadays, if you have a problem with certain countries, there has to be a cell within the Indian Ministry of External Affairs who can give advice even to people traveling to these areas, especially when you are a public figure. And that's very important for you, being a public figure, to shoot. Having said that, I always also know that he is shooting for a film called Lal Singh Chadda, which is also maybe part of the story. It's supposed to be in Turkey. Maybe he made up the setup early. We don't know exactly. But after all, I think if I have to shoot a movie, if I'm a director of a movie, and I know my maximum audience are in India, definitely I will understand the sentiment of the people and I will stop the shooting at least, or I'll postpone it for some time. He has to have that kind of general knowledge, and these are a common sense. Does not need to be intelligent or you have to have a PR exercise. What all you require, it is your personal liberty, it is your personal freedom. Nobody is talking about is fair enough. My question here is, when I know there are anti-Turkey sentiment in India, I should avoid creating a problem here. It has nothing to do with your religion.
No, but he's done it. No, he's already created the problem. He's already created the problem. I mean, my gosh, for months, we've been raising here exactly what Turkey is up to, what Erdogan represents. He represents a threat to the world order. He is no different. Yeah, he is no different from Xi Jinping. Maybe his country is not as powerful, but he's no different. Yeah, finish your thought, Dr. Vaidya.
Look, Bollywood are very strong, like any other, like Hollywood, like singers, like reputed personnel. They always have been doing the backdoor diplomacy. I don't think he's doing it, first of all. My question here, I would like to hear from Aamir Khan himself or the Indian government. What is the response to this?
No, nothing.
That has to be
nothing.
Only we should discuss.
No, that's the problem. Nobody wants to respond. I don't know why. I think maybe again we tread on eggshells that if the government says something, oh, it looked like, oh, we are, against Muslim icons. There's something wrong in our psyche. It's deeply frustrating. Ashok Sajanar, Ambassador, in this very peculiar concept where for weeks, for months, we know exactly what he's doing, what Erdogan wants, what his vision is, what his plans is. He is a dictator who's manipulated the constitution of Turkey. He is looking to revive the Ottoman Empire. We know what he did with the Kurds just a few months ago. We know what the Turks did with the Armenians under the Caliphate. These are known things. We know what he's doing with Greece right now. We know what he's doing with China right now. In the event you go there, next thing will happen. The Indians want to go to Istanbul for their wedding or for their next holiday. And we say, oh, look, India and Turkey are such great friends. It's just these few people in India who have a problem. Turkey is such a benevolent country. What nonsense.
I think what really, people have to make their own choices, Rishabh, in this case, because there is no advisory against visiting Turkey. I think all individuals who go there, they take their own individual decision. And I think, as all the panelists have said, that it is inconceivable that Aamir Khan didn't know about anything about it, about what sort of a regime the Turkey has, what sort of a leader Erdogan is trying to be, and what sort of relationship India and Turkey have, what sort of support that Turkey is providing to Pakistan. Now, let me sort of, just respond to one question that Dr. Wayalawad posed. It is not that the shooting of
am I audible now?
Yes, you are. Just let the Ambassador finish your thought. Murtaza, coming to you next. Ambassador, finish your thought.
So it is not as if the shooting of the film was designed to be in Turkey. It's only after the lockdown here that was imposed, because the shooting of the film was going on, and it is the lockdown of the film, in March, that everything really came to a standstill.
No, so Ambassador, if he's not naive, then either he is sold out. Look, the Turks have offered him maybe a subsidy or a free invitation, so he sold himself out, including selling out his country, or that he's doing this deliberately. He knows exactly what Erdogan represents, and this then is an indirect blessing to that cause. And if that is the situation, this is deeply, deeply troubling.
Of course, it's very, very troubling. I agree with you, because if you look at it, I just want to make one more additional point, because he has a Muslim identity, but he also has an Indian identity. Absolutely. I remember that he did not come for the meeting with Benjamin Netanyahu when Benjamin Netanyahu was in Mumbai in 2018. I think it was in January 2018 that he had come here for about a week or so. And I remember that there was a meeting that was organized where a large number of film personalities were there. It was
so that's hypocrisy. That's hypocrisy and double standards right there. And there has to be answerability for it. I don't think we can let this go. This is not something you can let go. Murtaza Ali Khan. Is Aamir Khan a naive person who doesn't know what Erdogan represents?
See, the way I see it, it's been blown out of proportion. He hasn't met Erdogan. He has met the first lady.
Do you know what her son does? You know what this lady's son does? Do you know what this lady's son does?
Aamir Khan fan. It's a meeting between a fan and a star, and I think we are blowing it out of proportion.
Her son Bilal Erdogan is a host to Zakir Naik. He is hosting radical recruitment here in India.
He hasn't met the son. He hasn't met the president. He has met the first lady who happens to be a fan of Aamir Khan.
So if you meet Xi Jinping's wife, it's perfectly okay. Right? If you meet Kim Jong-un's sister, you're fine.
Severing ties with Turkey, our diplomatic ties are very much on. So if he goes to that country to complete his film, and if the first lady wants to meet him, he can't say no. Especially to his fans.
Why not?
He would have said yes.
Why can't he say no?
They have asked for
Why can't he say no?
No, that's not yet certified. It's their perspective.
So if it doesn't matter, why can't he say no? Why can't he say no?
Because he's been courteous, he's been representing India.
This is courteous. So if Adolf Hitler invited you for a meeting, you would be courteous.
India has a certain image. India is a country which likes to be friends with people. Have we declared a war on Turkey yet? No, the last time I heard, we haven't declared a war on Turkey.
So until we declare a war on Turkey, is Erdogan a threat to the Muslim world or not?
To visit Turkey in the first place?
Do you support the new Ottoman Empire?
No,
do we support a new Ottoman Empire? Do we support a new Ottoman Empire, a new caliphate?
It's not about supporting, it's about...
Do we, yes or no? Yes or no?
Between a fan... No, why are you reducing things to binaries? It's not.
It is not a binary, it's a straight question. The answer is yes or no. Is Erdogan a threat to the world?
It's a global figure.
He is about to take Europe to war. A world war is about to start, Murtaza Ali, and Erdogan is going to be on the front line of it.
I don't think this should be given
a political color. He is the new Benito Mussolini.
Given a political color, sir.
Murtaza, I don't think you are uneducated or illiterate either. Erdogan is about to take Europe to war.
Let's not, sir, reduce.
He is about to take Europe to war.
This is a meeting between a fan and a star.
He's already invaded Syria. He's invaded Libya. He's invaded the Aegean Sea. He's going to take Europe to war.
He agreed to shook hands with Musharraf. If Atal Bihari Vajpayee can shook hands with Musharraf, even at the height of Kargil war, then I think this meeting between a fan and a star should not be blowing out of proportion.
So this lady is a fan.
Indian thing. The Indians
She's a fan of Aamir Khan.
We don't declare war on things who are not at war with us.
Okay,
the last time I saw, we are not at war with Turkey.
So until India declares war on Turkey, it's all fair and right. Fair enough.
Diplomatic ties with Turkey.
Sumit P, now this is what happens, right? We have ambassadors of Aamir Khan telling us that this is perfectly normal. Until we declare war, it's perfectly innocuous. She's a fan, and she's a fan meeting her favorite star, and she's in a lucky position to get a one-on-one meeting.
That's how I see it in the capacity of a film critic. That's how I see
fair
it.
Enough, fair enough. Murtaza, it's a fan.
I'll give you hundreds of precedents in the past. There's nothing wrong with it.
I asked you a simple question. Are you aware that Erdogan is taking Europe to war? You don't seem to be
I am
aware.
trying to tell you something very different.
Are you
What
aware,
I'm trying to
Murtaza,
tell
yes
you
or
is
no?
that let's not politicize. I am aware
I am
of
not
it, obviously.
politicizing it.
I also
I am
read
saying if
newspapers.
somebody
But I am
called in
saying that let's not
1936
reduce
or
this to
37,
binaries.
come and meet Adolf Hitler and Benito
This
Mussolini,
is not a political
should somebody
meeting.
have done it or
This
not?
is not a political
This is
meeting,
the same
sir.
context.
This is not a political meeting.
It's the same context. If the biggest stars of Europe wanted to go meet Adolf Hitler in 1937, I began with Edward Duke of Windsor in 1937 for this reason.
So
2 years later, Europe was at
now
war.
we have reached a position that we are going to compare Hitler with Erdogan.
Yes,
If that's
yes,
the-
absolutely.
Why-
This is what Erdogan
Why are we
represents.
not suspending
That is what
diplomatic ties
Erdogan
with Turkey?
represents.
Sir, why are we
Absolutely, he
not-
represents
why are
that.
we not
That is
suspending
what he
diplomatic ties with
represents.
Turkey?
That is
We
what he
should
is trying to
suspend diplomatic
Islamize
ties
the
with
world
Turkey
and create
if
a
that's the
caliphate.
case. Why are we still talking to China? Why
He
we
is
are at
trying
war
to
with
create a
China
caliphate.
at
That's what he
Galvan Valley. Why are we
represents.
still having those diplomatic ties? As long as we
My
have the
God,
diplomatic ties,
Murtaza,
as long as we are not
unbelievable
at war,
naivety.
we cannot, give
Unbelievable
political color
naivety.
to everything.
I am in a state
Giving
of
this is
shock at the naivety.
Giving this a political
If
color
you are
is
not
certainly
motivated,
on.
then you are naive in this case. And I'm assuming
You
that
are
you are
being-
not
you are
naive,
being
so
such
you are
too
motivated.
judgmental. If
So
I am being
until we
naive, you are
declare
being too
war,
judgmental.
nothing can be done.
If I am being naive,
okay.
sir, you are
Sumit
being
Peer,
too judgmental.
Sumit Peer, I am not, yes, I'm being judgmental. Absolutely, I'm being
And you are
judgmental because
also
this is wrong.
dealing in binaries,
You have
sir.
to call
You
out
are
a
dealing
wrong,
in
which is a
binaries.
wrong.
You
Sumit
cannot
Peer.
deal in binaries. This is a bigger
Sumit Peer,
perspective
it's all
here.
binaries. It's all binaries. This is an innocuous meeting. We
So
shouldn't be
that's a very
judgmental
sad
over
thing
it.
that if
This
it
is a
has come
fan
to this.
meeting a star, and she's lucky that he's come to
Now
meet
we
a
can't
one-on-one.
even.
It doesn't represent
probably then
anything
Aamir
else.
Khan was right that the tolerance level in the country is going down.
Okay, it's intolerance. Calling out Imran.
This is intolerance.
Does
This is
Erdogan
meeting
represent
between a star
tolerance?
and a star.
Murtaza
A star
Ali
and a
Khan.
represent
Does
tolerance.
Tajik
Well,
Erdogan
obviously.
represent tolerance? Is the
Tolerance,
conversion
sir.
of Hagia
New
Sophia
Prime
into a
Minister
mosque tolerance?
Why are you giving it a political color?
Is the
sir?
conversion of Hagia
He
Sophia
has
into
not met
mosque
Erdogan.
tolerance?
Has he met Erdogan?
Is the conversion of Hagia Sophia into mosque tolerance?
So the Supreme
Is it
Court of
tolerance?
Turkey
Answer
said
the
that
question.
it's okay with that. Supreme
Is it
Court of India
tolerance?
said that you can have the mandir in
Is
in
it
place of Babri
tolerance?
Masjid. So you can
Is Tajik Erdogan a tolerant individual in the Muslim community? Does he represent the height of
No, he
tolerance?
he doesn't represent Muslim community. He represents the whole world. He's a global citizen.
He's a
an
global
international star.
representative. He represents the
He's an
globe.
international star. And if a fan comes to him, he cannot say no
Is
to meeting a fan.
Erdogan
As simple
a
as that.
representative
Unless you
of
are
tolerance?
Personal meetings with the first ladies as
Is
fans.
Erdogan a representative of
First lady
tolerance?
is a fan. First
No, he's
lady is
not.
Aamir Khan's fan.
Absolutely
Did you read the
not.
tweet? First
What
lady
a
is Aamir Khan's
tragedy
fan.
we are
Did you
living in this
did you read
country
the
right
tweet?
now.
Khan,
It's
sir,
a-
are you naive to meet the person who has opposed India?
Okay, so let me
This
let
was
me
a
let me
political
pose this into a
meeting.
question.
Don't be fooling India.
Let me
Don't be
pose this
fooling
into a
India.
question.
This was a political
Okay,
meeting.
let me pose this into a question.
You cannot have
Sumit,
political
hang on.
meetings
You
with
are-
people
you
who
are
are
being
No, no, let me,
judgmental
okay,
here.
guys, let's,
Get it right.
Murtaza is not,
Nobody
he is not,
Andrew will represent
does not want to
nobody.
answer
You can
questions.
have
not here to
He wants to make a
question, sir.
statement.
Go hell with that.
Sumit, let me pose a question.
Respect off.
Is this,
You are
is
playing
this,
out of
naive.
proportion. You
You
are
know what
blowing
Erdogan is all
things out
about?
of proportion, sir.
no, I want to take it on.
here.
Murtaza, hang on now.
You are
You made your
blowing
speech.
things out of proportion here. This is
Murtaza,
not a
you made your
political
speech. You
meeting
not
at all.
answered a single of my questions. You
is
made
a
your speech.
political meeting.
Sumit, don't make a
This is not-
speech.
you are-
Let
you
me,
think
let
it's a
me,
political meeting.
let
It's
me,
not a political
let me
meeting.
boil it down into
Sir,
questions.
sir,
Gentlemen,
it's just your
hold on.
Why did he beat
It's
Benjamin
your
Netanyahu?
Okay.
opinion. It's not a political
No, I'm sorry.
meeting at all.
Let's boil it down to
It's a meeting
questions,
between a
gentlemen.
fan and a star. It is not.
You know,
It is not a political meeting.
I, as a habit,
I rest my case, sir. It is
I,
not
as
a
a
political
habit,
meeting.
okay,
You are
gentlemen.
fooling people.
Okay, let me now convert this. Sumit, hang on a second. Sumit, hang on a second. I'm muting the two of you. I, as a habit, avoid these kind of debates on NewsX. As a habit, for months and months and months, as a dedication so that people watching this can understand points of an argument. But when the points of an argument become blind, we are living in a 1930s world that needs to be corrected. Ambassador Ashok Sajana, to the best of your opinion, does a Tayyip Erdogan represent a tolerant form of neoliberal world outlook?
Not at all, meaning even after the coup attempt against him, he is seen to have imprisoned more than 80,000 of whether it is teachers or it is judges or it is workers in the state departments, government officials, army officers. He has put all these people behind bars. There is this organization that he has charged that they have been acting against him, the Fethullah Gulen organization, and he has been going all around the world and telling people that you should take action on the representatives of that organization who are working in your country. India, of course, has not done it because these people are doing good work here. they are doing educational work, they are doing healthcare work. So I think that is one of the reasons why Turkey is particularly upset as far as India is concerned. But I think nothing that he has
I'll put the
done
same question to Dhruv
is
Katoch.
action that you have
Murtaza, hang on, you made your
domestically or
speech. Now
externally.
let's go back to a recent debate. General Katoch, does Recep Erdogan represent a tolerant worldview?
No, we all know Erdogan. So the question of Erdogan being a tolerant person, no, that is out of the question. But as there are a large number of people watching this show. I just want to make one point which has been coming out, which was debated previously. You see, when a head of state or his wife or his children meet anybody, it is a political meeting. When President Obama comes here and Mrs. Obama comes here, it is political. When
Ivanka Trump?
When President Trump's children come to India separately, it is a political meeting. Now let nobody put a smoke screen on something like this and trying to cover up their radicalized elements. It will not work, right? It is a political meeting. Whether he did it deliberately or otherwise, that we can debate. But to say it is not a political meeting, to say that it is an innocuous meeting, I think is playing with the truth, and that is equally dangerous. We cannot allow that to happen.
Okay, Dr. Wailabad, you're a great believer in not only this area of the world, but the balancing and nuanced role that India must play and the historicity of this. You've seen this from both sides here, sir. Is an Erdogan and giving him any opportunity for PR something that is damaging for the present world order?
I will play the devil advocate here. I think once you are individual, you can do liberty, whatever you want. It is a self-censor you have to do. When you are a public figure, you have to understand the sentiment of the people. And I think low profile kind of such visit should have been kept or should be now been postponed till the right time comes, because we don't know when the politicians are together. So we don't know who is your enemy tomorrow or today. Therefore, I would say as a public figure, I should always be responsible for my act.
Okay, Dr. Wailabad, does an
Aamir
Erdogan and his family and everything he's done in the past 6-7 years, does it represent a tolerant worldview?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Erdogan is, for me, I called him from day one the de facto Khalifa. I never called even Baghdadi as the Khalifa. I knew he was behind all the terrorist organization, not only in my country and Iraq, but all over the world. He is a fully responsible, he's an Islamist who does believe in everything but Islam.
Okay. Sumit Peer, Erdogan, a tolerant leader, person who represents a tolerant caliphate and a new tolerant Ottoman Empire? Sumit, unmute yourself.
Sumit, you have to unmute yourself.
Sumit, on your screen, unmute yourself, buddy. Okay, I'll leave the last quick word with Ashok Sajanar then. Ashok ji, in this present then environment, if an Erdogan is not representing a tolerant worldview, is being seen as a person who is most likely to be the Mussolini and drive Europe to war, perhaps even spark a general conflagration, should we be sitting in Turkey with him, in your view? Your personal opinion, Aamir Khan can have a different personal opinion.
No, if I was in that place, I would definitely be sort of, very circumspect about it. I think I would think 10 times, if not more, why do I have to choose Turkey for finishing my film? Otherwise, all the shooting on the locale was to be done in India. Why couldn't it have been done in any other country? It's not as if Turkey is the only country. Meaning, I can agree. I think all of us have been to Turkey. It's a beautiful country.
Correct.
But I think under the present circumstances, did he really need to go to Turkey? I know that there is shooting of films going in different other countries, in UK, in London.
There are no answers.
Another shooting that's going on. Why did he have to go to Turkey? And if he did decide, again, that's his personal choice. That's his,
okay, so let me just leave on the last word. Murtaza, if you can just unmute yourself and take the quick last word with us. The right of an Aamir Khan to do this is, of course, there. He can meet whoever he wants, whenever he wants to. Was it a judgment call error?
See, I don't see it as a judgment call error. I see it as a meeting between a fan and a star. I would reiterate myself that this is a very innocuous meeting. I just feel that since we are being very political these days, we try to put and give political color to each and everything. I don't see this as a political meeting, and I think it should stay that way.
Okay, it's not a political meeting, it's very innocuous. You heard that point of view. We haven't heard from Aamir Khan. He's chosen Maun Vrat on this issue. Very happy to promote his movie. Probably his PR team is loving the publicity they're getting out of this. But there's not all such thing as great publicity. There is now in the world the concept of bad publicity. I think there is a YouTube trailer doing the rounds that has 5 million dislikes, which has given an indication of the Indian public not simply choosing to ignore everything that happens.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.